Hi everyone, welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, and it's my Friday show, The Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges. And of course, I'm always mixing it up, so this week I'm doing a reading for the elemental signs of the zodiac, and then I will do a short reading just for those signs who may be wondering if someone is looking at them or if they're seeking someone. You know, those typical questions we get a lot of when people ask me, just to see if we can get a glimmer of who's coming towards you, as we're often asked. But first we're going to do a reading from the Universal Love Tarot to set the tone a little bit. It's kind of like a deck of affirmations. It's by Tony Carmine Salerno. Eternal Flame. You are so much more than you can possibly know. An eternal flame glows within you at all times. All is constantly embraced by eternal truth. You are being encouraged to hold on to your truth and not to be swayed by others. The universe is testing your faith in yourself. Will you hold your ground, or will you give in? Remember, the right path for another is not necessarily the right path for you. Stand firm in your truth and feel yourself both empowered and liberated. And that's our card for the collective today from the Universal Love Oracle set. All right then, so we're going to start off with the air signs for the reading, and we are using the 3-card method. The first card is what is coming towards you emotionally speaking, and this is general, could be whatever situations, it's not necessarily that person. 2, why is it important? 3, where is it going to? As a follow-up to that, I will, of course, use a different deck, and we will be asking the question, who's coming towards you in love? And this will only resonate basically if you are expecting that to happen to you. If you're already in your own relationship and not necessarily, I mean, I'm not judging anyone's relationship. Maybe there are reasons why you may be interested in who is coming towards you, even if you already are in a relationship that is pretty much a closed relationship. So anyways, I talk too much. Air signs: Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. What vibration is coming towards you? And it's the Lovers reversed. So that's not very great. The Lovers reverse could be saying that the vibration coming to you is one maybe of discernment or judgment of what's going on in your relationship. Maybe you feel that there's something not working there, something unviable, maybe something even, that is breaking you apart. The vibrations are just not feeling good. Somebody has to maybe decide about something. Why is this important? And it's the 5 of Wands. And so if I didn't know better, I would say that maybe there's an affair going on, or there's some reason why maybe people feel they are competing with somebody else in the relationship. This could be variable depending on your situation. I know many younger people, not necessarily just younger people, have polyamorous relationships, which is a factor that's come up recently in some of our other readings. Maybe, this is just saying there is something going on where people don't feel they're being treated equally, or they feel that there's over competitiveness somehow within the relationship. So where will this lead to? And it's the Queen of Wands, and she's reversed. So the idea there is that where it leads to maybe is something of an embattled feeling, in a sense. The Queen of Wands may be feeling that she's not able, the person, to project themselves the way they want to, that their charisma or their sense of confidence have been shaken or broken even, and they are not feeling like they are in control of what's happening. They may be feeling, or it could in fact actually just be the case, that they are destroying their cause in some way. All right, so now the follow-up to that is, and that's for those air signs who this may resonate to, is who's coming towards you in love. I'm using the Final Rose Tarot because it is kind of like about the dating game, bachelorette game, things like that. So of course, as I mentioned before, if you don't feel that you are, looking or receptive to someone who's looking at you in love, then this may not necessarily apply to you. However, for others, air signs, and we just get this question a lot, who's coming towards me in love? So air signs, who's coming towards you in love? The way I do this reading, Banshee gave me this, so I've kind of expanded or maybe abbreviated it in my own way, is I turn over cards until I receive certain cards which would speak to the relationship. Specifically, when we're saying who's coming towards you, I'm looking for a court card. Not a major arcana. I just went through a couple. It's the King of Swords, herein called the King of Mirrors. So the King of Swords is an air sign, most likely, is possibly an air sign too. That makes sense then. They may be somebody who is an extremely good judge of character, or the way they are is that they just represent somebody who is incredibly fair and honest and willing to make decisions that have to be made. Doesn't necessarily sit in judgment of others, but just seems to be an impeccable judge of character. So that is who could be coming towards you, air signs. Now, the next card that I will reveal, I flip over cards until I come to a major arcana. This represents the tone or theme of the relationship, of that particular relationship. Not that one. It's the Tower. It's called Sent Home, but it's the Tower. So this could be a short relationship. This could be a relationship that has some karmic sense of maybe a lesson for you to learn, that maybe this person may be coming towards you in love, but maybe there's something that would end up being a disastrous effect of this relationship. I think it would be wise to keep in mind that maybe this is something karmic, and that maybe there is something that is actually kind of fated about it. So I'm going to leave it at that for the air signs, and we're going to move on. And we're moving on to the fire signs. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Let's give them a chime. Let it clear the vibrations. Fire signs, what is the emotional energy or vibration or situation that is coming to you? It's the Ten of Pentacles. It's upright. So this vibration seems to be about the love of family, the strength, solidarity, sense of protection, sense of belonging and warmth that comes from a family connection. And of course, we all know that we can have the choice of our family these days. We don't have to stay with the family we were born into if it's abusive in any way. We are celebrating Pride Month here, by the way, and that's why I use this particular deck, but I use it all the time. The Modern Lovers is an exceptionally modern take on love. Love is love. So it may be that what this card says is, if you've been looking for or wanting to need to feel the sense of unconditional, familial, or family foundational kind of love, embrace, here it is. It's coming towards you at this time. Why is this important? You really need to hit this mark. You really need to get there. The Eight of Wands is a sense of drama, but it's a sense of a mission too, of finding the mark you need to reach, of striking correctly. And you know, in the picture there, it seems like a younger person is taking someone, that's you, by the hand and pulling you forward towards this. And so it's important that if you're receiving any messages of somebody reaching out to you that in some sense represents family, then you should respond quickly and to the point. And all situations are different, so you may have to handle it maybe a little differently than the way someone else might. But why is this important, fire signs? Or I'm sorry, where is this leading to, fire signs? Know your truth. It's the Hermit, and the Hermit is upright. And so, you know, in a way, I guess what it's leading to is the sense of you affirming yourself. And so this may apply to the fact that even if there is a family, if there is an unconditional love and support system, you still ultimately remain on your own terms to some degree. And to some degree, that means that you are respected in that regard, and that you have things to show and teach others, a truth of your own that you can also share, maybe as part of hitting that target, of striking for that target. So now, fire signs, who's coming towards you in love? So those. Who is coming towards Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius? And like I said last time, this is a reading that my clever wife and partner Banshee came up with or found from somewhere. I've sort of abbreviated it for the sake of my show. So the first card I just basically draw until I reach a court card, and that court card describes in general the person who is coming towards you. it's the reverse Knight of Cups. So the person coming towards you could be somebody that maybe is insecure about their emotional feelings towards you. It may be that maybe it's not necessarily about romantic love, but maybe about some sense of understanding emotionally with them. It's possible that they could be a water sign, but I won't say that guarantee. You know, fire signs and water signs don't always resonate to each other. However, I know Banshee and I are fire and water signs, Scorpio, Aries. So fire signs, a person coming towards you in love is just most likely somebody that maybe doesn't exactly play by the rules or doesn't know how to necessarily make the correct moves. I sort of see a sense of floundering a little bit. And so like I said before, they may be somebody who's insecure or unused to certain emotional expressions, or with you they are. So I'm going to leave it at that and say that the next card, of course, that is a major arcana, and there they are, the very next card, represents the theme of the relationship. And gosh goodness, I hope that, you know, the fire signs aren't undergoing a new occupation that includes relationship therapy, because I have the Fool upright, and it says the contestant, of course, for the sake of the deck, which is the Final Rose Tarot. But this would indicate to me that maybe there's a sense here of an expectation of letting go and letting it happen. And so that maybe if there's a relationship happening between you and a person like that, you're going to kind of let go of your expectations and just sort of trust with it and go with it. And that maybe even though a person like that may not exactly be your type, you may allow this to proceed at some point for the feel or the sense of the experience. So that's what I have for fire signs. And we'll move on now to the water signs. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Hit it. That slightly discordant sound there. So water signs, how's it going with you this week? I know that as a fellow water sign, I think my emotions have been at an all-time kind of pitch of sorts. Not sure why, but it is. It just feels that way. At any rate, water signs, we're going to ask those questions again. Basically, what is the emotion or essence or vibration that seems to be coming towards you? That is coming towards you, perhaps. It's the Nine of Wands. And the Nine of Wands says, you're doing this because you don't really have a choice. You have others you have to stand up for. You have others that you have to kind of protect. Maybe this is the situation coming to you that maybe you might feel you really have to prepare yourself for what's coming emotionally. Is there going to be a difference in your relationship? Is something happening that challenges your relationship? It could be something like that. It could be saying that no matter how hard the obligations you may have are, children or other people in the relationship, you have to kind of hang on and be supportive of them. Otherwise, you could be lost. And so that's a dual edge here because of this sense of the tarot. So what's coming towards you is the sense you need to be prepared for possibly the worst, emotionally speaking, maybe having, a big change in your relationship. Now, the next card is why this is important. It's the reversed Three of Cups. Well, it's important because something may change dramatically. Something about this may change in terms of who it is that is your circle. You know, this could be a change with emotional relationships and resonances between you and a number of people. Maybe these are people who are or were being the part of your family, or a community, or a sense of a situation that has a bond emotionally. So co-workers, or the church or temple you belong to, committees that you've worked on for a long time, that kind of thing. Whatever it is, whatever is challenging you right now in your relationship or situation that you maybe feel you have to stand up for and be prepared for, but it will really shake the foundations of what your friendships or emotional bonds are with some other people. That's serious, Scorpios. Water signs. So where will this ultimately lead to? And it's the reverse Knight of Swords. And this could be saying that water signs may be due to make some really harsh and brash moves. I know, speaking for Scorpios, we tend to be consummate brooders. We could end up just totally pulling away from everybody, going to lick our wounds. I think Pisces and Cancer can be like that as well. I have some friends like that. But I'm just saying that, this is where it could lead to, but it's not where it has to or should lead to. That maybe you have to try to be a little bit braver, another side of the Knight of Swords, and try to weather the situation, maybe figure out what is causing people to maybe take sides against you, what you have to do. Or maybe it's how you've explained what you feel you have to do that hasn't really resonated with your other, friends or community. And so you might have to make sure you don't really leave them in the lurch in a way too, that they deserve to maybe know what's going on. And so you need to not necessarily run away from the situation, which is another way of looking at the Knight of Swords. All right, so we'll leave it at that for the water signs. But now we're going to move on to who's coming towards you in love, water signs. That's right. Despite what's happening here, other water signs, or the same water signs, who may be single, thinking of relationships, who is coming towards you? Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And so, excuse me. So once again, I use the Final Rose Tarot. It's got a lot of nice gold and gilt on the sides and embossed in other areas. And it's very specific about dating and romance along those lines. So it's perfect for a question like this: who is coming towards you in love? So let's see what that is. And so, as I mentioned before, we just pull until we get a certain kind of card. First, we're looking for who is that coming towards you. It should be a court card, not a major arcana. And it is, once again, the Knight of Cups, only this time the Knight of Cups is upright, so it's a much better idea for the water signs. It could be that somebody coming towards you is very supportive emotionally, but also very romantic. They may be a fellow water sign, and maybe they're here to sort of be your knight in shining armor, that maybe if there's some way you need to lean on somebody in this sense, or somebody who can be supportive of you in the way that you need to be supportive, because otherwise you're going to act out, water signs. So I don't want to tie these readings too much together, but I'm just saying what is coming towards you could be a really strong emotional support, and in fact even a sense of love, real romantic love. So the next card is, what will the theme of that kind of relationship be, And we turn until we find a major arcana. And it's the Magician reversed. And so there's a sense that despite strong emotional resonance, there may be some things that don't really act in real time correctly or properly. It sort of seems like a misapplied sense of will, like maybe there's no will to really create a relationship. It may just be all really more about the sensuality of the relationship. So this may be somebody that needs to be, and maybe that's because it's two water signs. You're just too much blubberiness. I'm sorry, I'm one, so I get it. To really focus on the building that the magician represents. You know, building an actual relationship and everything that has to support that. So water signs, this is also basically saying you can have this kind of person, but you need to commit to really being practical about everything else that goes into relationship, not just the you know, love me till tomorrow, kiss, kiss, kiss. Hey, I want that too, but I get it. All right, so now we are on to earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Let's ring the bell for them. Let's ring a lot of bells, right? So we will, of course, go back to using the Modern Love Tarot by Ethne. I should just show that one more time if I haven't already. Love is love, as they say. Oh, let's not forget to grab those ones that were up there. Gotta shuffle them all in. So earth signs, as I mentioned, of course, were Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We're going to ask the same questions again, starting with the first one, which is what kind of vibration or situation, energy, essence is coming for these earth signs? What is moving towards you vibrationally or otherwise speaking? And it's the Four of Swords. And I think this is saying you need a vacation from love. You know, it's the Four of Swords in this deck. You need a vacation from maybe some of the emotional situations that have not been exactly, you know, conducive for you. And it's time to rest, relax, reinvigorate yourself. There's some self-care going on here. It could be too that to some degree, earth signs, you need to also have a sense of insulation from maybe what was bothersome or even worse in a previous relationship. We know that the swords are all around pointing away, and it sort of seems like a defensive posture. It could be a projection of our energy too, that you're saying, stay away and let me rest and heal. So why is this important, earth signs? And it's another sword, and it's once again our friend, the reversed Knight of Swords. So maybe important because maybe you have had this kind of encounter that maybe there is a person who is some sort of interloper or provocateur, somebody who is brash or rude or overly aggressive. They may be trying to move into a relationship or be somehow an antagonist with you. Maybe they don't like who you hang with. It's kind of weird. They could be an air sign. I'm not sure. But I think it's important to understand that maybe this is going on. Now, the other possibility could be that maybe this is a part about yourself, that maybe you realize you've been too negative with people and too interloping and antagonistic. And so it's important for you to look at this as a time to get away and heal. But otherwise, it could be, you know, you are literally trying to remove yourself from that kind of person or situation maybe. So where will this lead to, earth signs? A better night. K-N-I-G-T. It's the Knight of Wands, and they're upright. And I like the Knight of Wands here. I think the Knight of Wands is pretty nice here in this sense. They're talking about maybe your better nature comes through, or a better person comes through that maybe offsets the idea of the other person, that reverse Knight of Swords. Somebody who maybe is confident and charismatic. Maybe this is you coming back from healing even. Maybe this is saying you have that ability now to move forward charismatically and confident, with a sense of bravery and with a sense of building, something, a friendship, an enterprise, a situation. It's all very possible with that idea there of the Knight of Wands. All right, so very nice earth signs. We almost don't need to ask who's coming towards you because we got those two knights there, so we sort of see a sense of that. But of course we're going to do that. So we're back to the final rows to wrap this all up, and we're asking earth signs, who's coming towards you in love? Ring the bell. And I hope people will let me know if they like this new interpretation of the cards. I need to move those. Oh wait, I leave them here for the reading, so we'll get to that in a moment. I like to compare them a little bit. All right, earth signs. This was there and this was there. So the first card then, as a court card, is the first card, and it's the reverse Queen of Wands. And the reverse Queen of Wands, it's somebody who maybe, this could be two things. Maybe they don't feel attractive or popular, or maybe they're a person who's very self-assured and doesn't need to be reminded that they're Miss USA or whatever that is, that they're just really confident enough to not necessarily have to brag. But it is a reverse card, so I'd like to consider that possibility that who is coming towards you is somebody maybe who's a little browbeaten and is like themselves looking for a little TLC. It's kind of interesting because it may be somebody who's a lot like you in a respect. So then, what is the theme or tone of the relationship? And we're looking for the next major arcana. And it's the Tower again. The Tower is upright again. So this is a person that you can learn something from, but there may be some shared situations here, and they may not be very enjoyable. It may be that certain things will not be feasible or will be a little bit self-destructive. I mean, I almost wonder if this is a self-destructive personality that you could end up feeling sorry for, earth signs, or feel like you have to work with them for some reason. Hopefully you will learn that lesson, that maybe they need to be somewhere else, that maybe they don't need to be with you. I don't know how to say it any more than that. So I want to thank everybody for coming to my outlook on the emotional exchanges. And just a reminder, as we weren't on last night, we're not going to be here for happy hour tomorrow. Schedule changing, I'm out of town, etc. We are here tomorrow for Banshee's Material Matters. We're live in the chat room for that pre-recorded show. And then we're back to normal with our live stream on Sunday tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. So I hope to see you all there. Take care.